Hi, this is Brother Teacher. This is a sensitive subject for many, particularly those who are the subject of this video, the police. I have grown up with police officers most of my life. I have had police officer friends for years, and to this very day I do. And there are many, many decent police officers, but we have way too many criminal police officers. I said it. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to cower down and say what all of us have seen with our own naked eyes. The police, not all police, but many police, too many police, abusing citizens, taking advantage of their office, their position as so-called law enforcement officers. My question today to you police officers that may be watching me right now, or to you all who have been police officers that are watching me right now, or to you all who know a police officer right now, is what is the duty, the real duty of a police officer? Now, in the comment section, I want you to tell me, to lay out in plain, simple English what your job is. Now, if you had to go to court and this question was asked of you under oath, and you said it at the bench where the judge is under oath, and the DA or the lawyer or the prosecutor or the defense attorney would ask you, what is your job? You would lay it out then. So when an average citizen asks you the question, what is your job? What does your job entail? I know every police officer know what they're required to do every day. You have an SOP, a standard operational procedure that you must follow every day, a policy that you must follow every single day. When you clock in to your job, first, second, or third shift, there's some set of guidelines that you have. When you graduated the police academy, they told you specifically what your job was or what it entailed. So I'm asking you, as a citizen, as a man standing on the land, as a human being, what is a police officer's real job? I will say this: you haven't been scoring too high in protecting and serving the real community, but you've been scoring really high in abusing your authority. There have been too many officer shootings of unarmed people, of people who were not a threat at the time, of people who were fleeing or running away, being murdered. Walter Scott was one in Carolina. That police officer, I believe, went to prison for many years. But that is not the case with the majority of police officers who have killed innocent citizens. I thought I saw a gun, and there's no gun found, but you murdered a citizen, and you end up being found not guilty. But you settle out of court, and the family gets a few $1 million. But if you were found not guilty, why is the family being paid anything at all? All of us inquiring minds would like to know the rationale behind this. So basically, what's really being said is that you were guilty, but the system said that you won't get any jail time, and we will try to appease the family of those that you killed. This happens all of the time. Eric Garner, many others. But anyway, I still want to know what your job is. So, is it to go out and look for bad people in society that are doing harm to other good people in society? Is this your job? One thing that I do know, one of your jobs most definitely is to make money for the city or the county in which you live. There's this thing called a citation book. You police officers know it very well. It's a pad. You can carry it in your pocket. You even have a clipboard. You have a computer sitting inside of your car, your vehicle, your city vehicle. You pull up information. You type in what the charge is when you pull someone over or you stop someone. And then you print up this citation. And whatever infraction or so-called infraction of the law it is, there's a monetary equivalent to it. For example, if you were speeding on a highway, it tells you what the payout is. If you were jaywalking, it tells you what the payout is. If you parked in a handicapped spot in a shopping mall and the person didn't have a placard that said that they were handicapped, there's a payout. Everything that you do when you interact with the citizens of your municipality, you pull the citation book out and there's a payout. So what's the purpose of the payout? Does it make them a better citizen? You charging them money? You are the vehicle, you police officers, to help the city get paid. And after a period of time, the city gets accustomed to those payouts because it brings in millions and millions of dollars into the city's general fund. Those payouts. So your department encourages you to go out and write X amount of tickets per month, don't they? I know they do. I've heard police officers ask before, do they have a quota as far as how many tickets they have to write? And quickly sometimes the officer will respond, oh, we don't have a quota system. Yes, you do. Every police department has a quota system because you're bringing in revenue, cash money to the city in which you serve. Note what I said, serve, you are a servant to the city from a fiduciary standpoint. Now, I may have jumped around just a wee bit. I want to say this. We do have a need for police officers. I agree. But it should be limited. It should only be, for the most part, in emergency situations. But to be driving down the road, the highway, country road, wherever you might be driving down, even in your own neighborhood or the wrong neighborhood, and to see a police cruiser or car sitting off to the side or in a driveway or in a parking lot profiling you. It doesn't just have to be black people that they profile, but profiling whoever it is. And they do this every single day, 24 hours a day, profiling. And if you don't fit the description of someone that should be in that area, or if you have a certain type of vehicle, or if you are a certain color driving a certain type of vehicle, they pull out behind you. They start looking at your vehicle to find some imperfections. Maybe your muffler's hanging. Maybe your tail light is out on one side. Maybe it's a cracked tail light. But they've already scanned your license plate. They've already run it, in other words. And something may have come up. You know that's unlawful for them to do that, right? Because they are actually singling you out intentionally, or profiling. And they run your tags. I know this from experience, by the way. They run your tags, and then they pull you over, and they say, do you know why I'm pulling you over? You say, no, sir, I'm not aware. And they tell you, well, your tail light's out. They already have scanned your license plate and they already have the answer, and they've already made up their mind what they're going to do. Then they ask you, like an idiot, for your driver's license and insurance and so forth, and they go back to the car and they come back as if they just obtained the information from your driver's license that something was awry, but they had an agenda already to mess with you, to arrest you, and they let you know that you have a bench warrant or you have some situation that's pending in court and so on and so forth, and so they detain you and then ultimately arrest you, and then the tow truck comes and take your vehicle away, so forth. Even if they pull you over in the traffic stop for speeding or going through a stop sign, so they like to say sometimes, they pull out the book or the pad and they start writing out the citation. And they tell you what your rights are and that you can contest it in court in 7 days or whatever. It's going to double, this kind of stuff. But it's still based, still predicated on money for the system. They're all about money. And let's say you got arrested and you go to court. What you're going to have to pay? You're going to have to pay whatever the fine is. Then you're going to have to pay the court cost. Then you're going to have to pay the lawyer's fee if you don't have a lawyer. Again, it's all about the Benjamins. It's all about money. And that's just a few things, just scratching the surface. So my question again to you, Mr. Police Officer, Miss Police Officer, Mrs. Police Officer, what's your job? What's your real job? Tell we the people what your job is. And I'm being very kind, very cordial. I'm asking you today, police officer, the wife or husband of a police officer, the friend of a police officer, or just anyone in general, tell we the people, we the public, what the job of a police officer is, and be very concise and to the point. We would really like to know, so that we don't feel like we're just simply a dollar bill to the system.